Namaskar, welcome you to Sporting Angels Educational Spectrum. In the last video, we talked about the communities and regions of Belgium. It was a very peculiar problem which we are talking about in two countries. Today, in this video, we shall be talking about the communities and regions of Sri Lanka. The majoritarian in Sri Lanka, how the majoritarianism worked negatively in this country. We shall be talking about it. Let's first look at the composition there. See, Sri Lanka, just a few kilometers off the southern coast of Tamil Nadu. It has about 2 crore people, about the same as in Haryana. Like other nations in the South Asia region, Sri Lanka has a diverse population. The major social groups are Sinhalese speakers 74% and the Tamil speakers 18%. Among Tamils, there are two subgroups. Tamil natives of the country are called Sri Lankan Tamils, 13%. The rest, whose forefathers came from India as plantation workers during colonial period, are called Indian Tamils, and they are 5%. As you can see from the map, Sri Lankan Tamils are connected in the north and northeast of the country. Most of the Sinhalese speaking people are Buddhist, while most of the Tamils are Hindus or Muslims. They are about 7% Christians, who are both Tamil and Sinhalese. Just imagine what could happen in this situation. The Sinhalese had a very big majority, and in such a situation the Sinhalese could force their will upon others, and this in fact became a major conflict. How these countries handled the situation, we shall be talking about this. See, the major difference between Belgium and Sri Lanka is about handling the problem. We shall talk about it. For the time being, we stay at the majoritarianism in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka emerged as an independent country in 1948. The leaders of Sinhalese community sought to secure dominance over government by virtue of their majority. As a result, the democratically elected government adopted a series of majoritarian measures to establish Sinhalese supremacy. In 1956, an act was passed to recognize Sinhalese as the only official language, thus disregarding Tamil. The government followed preferential policies that favored Sinhalese applicants for university positions and government jobs. A new constitution stipulated that the state shall protect and foster Buddhism. All these government measures, coming one after the other, gradually increased the feeling of alienation among the Sri Lankan Tamils. They felt that none of the major political parties led by Buddhist Sinhalese leaders were sensitive to their language and culture. They felt that the constitution and government policies denied them equal political rights, discriminated against them in getting jobs and other opportunities, and ignored their interests. As a result, the relations between the Tamils and Sinhalese strained over time, and there came a time when the whole country was in conflict. It was in chaos. In the next video, we shall talk about how Belgium accommodated after amending its constitution 4 times, and how Sri Lanka could not do it in a better way. We shall also talk about why power sharing is important, why power sharing is desirable. That all we shall talk about in the next video. Till then, keep watching this video. Watch it at least twice. I'll also be sending you questions based on this video. Thanks for joining.